So he's given his Q clearance back by a guy named Lou Branscombe, who's on the Jason Advisory Committee. Jasons are like this very hardcore group when it comes to, overall, like very high level, U.S. defense strategy. And Lou Branscombe is this understudy from his Harvard days from Don Menzel. And Don Menzel is also rumored to be on the Majestic 12.
With the Manhattan Project, I've heard you talk about this before on some of your podcast episodes. What was the depth of the discussion that like Oppenheimer had around UFOs while he was out there working on this project? And were there things that were potentially seen or what was going on there?
We don't know, but there's a book called UFO Secrecy in the Fall of Robert J. Oppenheimer by a guy named Donald Burleson. He's an Air Force guy. And there are some weird things around that kangaroo court that was held where he lost his Q clearance, where like the premise of the book is that it wasn't around him socializing with, possible communist spies or whatever in the 30s, and that actually it could have been around some of this UFO stuff. And a lot of the quotes like from the kangaroo court is he's saying between 45 and 49 a lot happened, and he keeps saying that. It's like this recurring thing. And if you actually think about like the bomb itself, it was 41 through 45, and all the lore around UFO crashes 45 through 49.
Yes.
So maybe there's something interesting there. John von Neumann, who's defending him in one of these kangaroo courts, is saying it took him a while to get adjusted to the Buck Rogers universe that we're living in. He might have been referring to just nuclear weapons. I mean, that's like a weird universe. But Buck Rogers is this comic strip at the time, and it's all about like space travel and time travel. And then Gordon Gray is this North Carolina lawyer who was rumored to be on the Majestic 12, who, Truman and Eisenhower's sort of counsel around UFOs. And he was an actual guy. He was overseeing this kangaroo court with Oppenheimer. And so there's some interesting possible data points there. And then I'm trying to think of other like Condon, who's, the guy who writes the protocols for atomic secrecy, which gets overlaid onto UFO secrecy. He writes the McMahon Act around atomic secrecy, which is 1946. A lot of that language gets used in the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, which creates the Atomic Energy Commission and the DOE. And so you have this guy he's a close confidant of Oppenheimer, this guy, Edward Condon. He wrote the first English language textbook on quantum mechanics. He studied with Oppenheimer at Göttingen in Germany in the 30s. He grew up in Alamogordo, right next to Los Alamos, and helps pick Los Alamos as a spot for the Manhattan Project. He wrote the Los Alamos Primer, which every single employee had to read upon joining Los Alamos. And then 6 weeks into the Manhattan Project, he clashes with General Leslie Groves, Matt Damon's character in Oppenheimer, around UFO secrecy. And then he goes on to write the UFO secrecy protocols. And then his Q clearance is also stripped around 53, 54. So it's this weird connection. And then 66, he forms the Condon Commission. He's given his clearance back in this really dubious, weird way. We can get into the details around that.
Yeah, please.
And then, okay. So he's given his Q clearance back by a guy named Lou Branscombe, who's on the Jason Advisory Committee. Jasons are like this very hardcore group when it comes to, overall, like very high level, U.S. defense strategy. And Lou Branscombe is this understudy from his Harvard days from Don Menzel. And Don Menzel is also rumored to be on the Majestic 12. Again, I don't know if he was, but he's this top astronomer who is this professional UFO debunker. For some reason, it like feels like it's this guy's job to be like a UFO debunker. So you have his like direct understudy like giving Condon his clearance back, and then I think that was like used as like bait to like get Condon basically to like do their bidding and basically say like you have to like squash this subject. And the reason I think that is because in the background there's this Washington FBI field agent named Guy Hoddle, who's basically building a ton of compromise on Condon himself. And if you actually look at the Hoddle memo on the FBI website, it's the #1 document on the FBI website. It's literally the most read document on the FBI website. It's a memo that is written to Hoddle by, an Air Force guy saying that, he's found a UFO that's crashed with, its whole crew intact or whatever. So we know that Hoddle was at least knowledgeable of the UFO phenomena at the very least, like at a high level. And he's building this kind of dossier on Condon. And then Condon gets his clearance back under very mysterious circumstances. And even in an American Institute of Physics interview that he gives, Condon, the interviewer is like, were you given your clearance back because of specific UFO cases that you had to review as part of the Condon Commission? And he gets all weird about it. And like, he's like repeats himself like a million times, like maybe I saw like a movie or two or something, but like, no, I didn't need my clearance back. And like, it sounds like he's kind of covering for something. And so you have this weird connection between him and Oppenheimer. And then the final thing I'll say, and I don't know what this means, but it's like, I think sometimes if you're like creating this big atomic blast, I think in some ways, you're creating like a big force. You're getting closer and closer to like levels of ontological truth. Like my guess would be like the Manhattan Project. Maybe you figure something out, and then like CERN, like maybe you figure something like maybe it's more than like the Higgs field or something that you figure out with like the Large Hadron Collider. And so like maybe you get deeper into ontological truth. Like in this case, in CERN's case, it's electric plasma thrusters. And in the Manhattan Project's case, it's like, it's a uncontrolled nuclear fusion or whatever. And so, I mean, I don't know, but
what was the name of that book again? About
it's called UFO Secrecy. It's UFO Secrecy in the Fall of Robert J. Oppenheimer. Yeah.
So he's putting together through a lot of secondary sources, meaning like not Oppenheimer himself, but other people around the situation and evidence we can collect to circumstantially say, if this, then that, if this, then that, if this, then that, then that, then that, then that, because why are all these different people in the orbit acting in this way to get rid of this guy in particularly who may know this thing about UFOs. Yeah. So it's circumstantial, but he builds up like a lot of bricks in the house, so to speak.
Yeah, it's completely circumstantial. There's no smoking gun, but he builds up a lot. By the way, I said I think fusion. I meant fission. But
you're forgiven.
Thank you. Got to get it right. Yeah. I know your audience, Julian. They keep keeping me accountable. But it's not. There's no smoking gun. It's a lot of circumstantial evidence, but it's interesting. I think it's worthy of follow-up and further investigation. There's also a 1971 Australian document written by their Joint Intelligence Organization, the head of their nuclear division, a guy named Harry Turner. And it's really interesting. There are a lot of these like UFO detonation experiments being done actually in Australia. And Harry Turner is overseeing this, presumably.
UFO detonation?
Sorry, UFO atomic detonation experiment. They're UFO detonation experiments. Yeah, you're not familiar with that? Get on it, Julian.
Yeah, let's get a video up.
Yeah, let's do it. AI like Sora or something. No, they're blowing up bombs there.
Got
it. You think about Australia, and it's good. There's a lot of desert. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.